welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, January 6, 2023. Today I'm going to go over the notable soccer games and look ahead to all the soccer going on in the weekend. College basketball, NBA, NHL, NFL Week 18 picks. We have the golf tournament to go over, news and notes, and then best bet and Fab 5 to close the show. We'll also start with soccer today just to change things up for a Friday. We'll go over the results of the notable games played yesterday and look at everything going on today. So we will start with the English Premier League. Man City knocks off Chelsea 1-0 as Man City's now in second, Chelsea now in 10th. And then yesterday we also had the another big Spanish Copa del Rey results from yesterday. We had Betis over CD Ibiza 4-1, Osasuna over Gymnastic 2-1 in extra time, and Athletic over Eldense 6-1. All right, the round of 16 begins on Sunday. For what that's worth, we'll see if the betting odds are up for that. No English Premier League again until the 12th. So we'll start with the English FA Cup. Third round begins today at 3 o'clock. We have Manchester United and Everton. So this league's back for the first time since December. It's going to be interesting to see who advances, obviously. I think this next straight-up pick is going to be easy. Man United is minus 320, Everton's plus 750, draws plus 380. For this one, I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at minus 108. All right, Saturday, 7:30 of Crystal Palace and Southampton. Crystal Palace minus 125, Southampton 310, draw 240. I'm going to go over 2.5 goals at minus 104. Tottenham and Portsmouth. Tottenham's a minus 1,000 favorite. Portsmouth's a 13-1 dog, and the draw's 8-1. I'm going to go over 3.5 goals at minus 108. Forest Green and Birmingham. Birmingham's minus 125. Forest Green's plus 310. Draw plus 240. I'm going to go over 2.5 at minus 116. Preston and Huddersfield. Preston's minus 110. Huddersfield's 3-1. Draw plus 220. I'm going to go with Preston at minus 110. Reading and Watford. Reading's plus 125, Watford and the draw are each plus 210. I kind of like the draw plus 210. I think that game's sort of like close. Gillingham and Leicester City. Leicester's a minus 600 favorite. Gillingham's 13-1 as a dog. Draws 5-1. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at plus 124. 10 o'clock, Hull and Fulham. Fulham's minus 175. Hull is a plus 430 dog, and the draw is 280. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals at plus 106. Ipswich and Rotherham. Ipswich minus 175. Rotherham's plus 410. Draw plus 290. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals at plus 102. Borough and Brighton. Brighton's minus 165. Middlesbrough's 4-1. Draw 280. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals at minus 110. Millwall and Sheffield United. Sheffield's plus 145. Millwall's plus 180. Draw plus 210. I'm going to go with Sheffield United plus 145 on the road. Shrewsbury and Sunderland. Sunderland's minus 105. Shrewsbury's plus 270. Draw plus 220. I'm going to go with Sunderland at minus 105. Chesterfield and West Brom. Can't even find that one. There it is. West Brom minus 195. Chesterfield plus 450. Draw plus 310. I'm gonna go with under 2.5 goals at plus 106. Bournemouth and Burnley. Bournemouth plus 140. Burnley plus 170. Draw plus 220. I'm going to go with Bournemouth plus 140. Boreham Wood and Accrington. Accrington's plus 130. Boreham Wood plus 190. Draw plus 230. We'd go with Accrington at plus 130. Blackpool and Nottingham Forest. Nottingham plus 145. Blackpool plus 330. Draw plus 270. The draw is intriguing. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at minus 108. Fleetwood Town and QPR. QPR's minus 120. Fleetwood's plus 290. Draw plus 250. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at minus 116. 12:30. Grimsby Town and Burton Albion. Grimsby plus 140. Burton plus 165. Draw plus 230. I'm going to go Grimsby plus 140. Luton and Wingon. Luton's minus 140. Wingon plus 360. Draw plus 240. I'm going to go with over 2.5 goals at plus 104. Coventry and Wrexham. Coventry's minus 135. Wrexham plus 330. Draw plus 260. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals at minus 108. Brentford and West Ham. Brentford plus 135. West Ham plus 180. Draw plus 220. Go with Brentham plus 135. 1 o'clock, Sheffield United and Newcastle. Newcastle minus 230. Sheffield 5-1. Draw 330. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals at minus 106. And 3 o'clock, Liverpool and Wolves. Liverpool minus 360. Wolves 750. Draw 410. I'm going to go with over 3.5 goals at plus 138. And then a couple on Sunday. I really don't have time to do the betting picks for the Sunday ones. So, it's Derby and Barnsley, Bristol City and Swansea, Hartlepool and Stoke, Norwich City, Blackburn, Stockport, Walsall, Cardiff and Leeds. 11:30, Man City, Chelsea, and Aston Villa and Stefanage. All right, La Liga. Today, 12:30, you have Elche and Celta Vigo. We're going to do the betting stuff for today's games on the show. Celta Vigo, even money. Elche 3-1 draw, plus 210. I'm going to go with Celta Vigo at even money. And 3 o'clock, Valencia and Cadiz. Valencia's minus 195. Cadiz is 5-1 draw, 310. I'm going to go with over 2.5 goals and minus 116. Saturday, 10:15, Villarreal, Real Madrid. 12:30, Mallorca and Valladolid. And 3 o'clock, you have Espanyol and Girona. And Sunday, 8 o'clock, you have Almeria and Real Sociedad. 10:15, Rayo and Betis. 12:30, Sevilla and Getafe. And 3 o'clock, you have Atletico and Barcelona. Coupe de France, round of 64. All begins today. 12 o'clock, you have Grenoble and Nimes. So I'm just going to pull up the odds here. Grenoble plus 135, Nimes plus 210, draw 190. I'm going to go with Grenoble plus 135. Paris FC and Valenciennes, Valenciennes. Paris plus 110, Valenciennes 240, draw plus 210. Go with Paris FC plus 110. Pau and Montpellier. Montpellier is minus 120, Pau plus 290, draw plus 240. I'm going to go with over 2.5 goals at minus 110. Strasbourg and Angers. Strasbourg minus 130, Angers 310, draw 260. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals at minus 108. And 3 o'clock you have Chatorix and PSG. PSG's minus 650. Chatorix is 10-1, draw 6-1. I'm going to go with over 3.5 goals at even money. I'm not going to do the betting for the round of 64 games for Saturday and Sunday. I'm just going to go over them. 7 o'clock, you have Aru and Bastia, Grasse and La Tampanaise. 9:30, Avranches and Brest, Lines, Monterrey and Lens, Lyon and Metz, Martial Hires, South, Coing-Chauffin and Clermont. 12 o'clock, Lapoy and Nice, Monaco and Aveiro, AF Verroes and Nantes, Plabenec and Vans OC, Villerupt-Thil and Annecy, Théon and SC Amiens, Granville and Nairit, 2:45, Bordeaux and Rennes, and the Pies de Castle game got canceled for Saturday. All right, Sunday you have Belfort and Olympique S, or that'd be Olympique South. Chamaleras and Bourgs 18, Lune Plage and Reims, La Chattanègre and Laurent, Jude Safut and AC Ajaccio. 12 o'clock, Dunkerque and Auxerre, Stade Pontive and Les Hebiers, Lannion and Toulouse, Aubagne and Chambéry, Avoyne and Verizon, or Vierzon. And then 2:45 you have Lille and Troyes. Liga MX, one game tonight. You have Necaxa and San Luis. So you have Necaxa plus 115. Atletico San Luis plus 230. Draw 220. I'm going to go with Necaxa at plus 115. Mazatlan and Lyon postponed. All right, Saturday, 6 o'clock, you have America and Querétaro, Altas and Toluca at 8:10, and then 10:10, Monterrey and Guadalajara. Sunday, UNAM and Juarez at 1 o'clock, 8 o'clock, Santos and Tigres, and 10:10, you have Tijuana and Cruz Azul. And then, you in the Dutch League, you have FC Twente and Emmen. Twente minus 260, Emmen 6-1, draw 330. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at minus 110. All right, that was a lot of soccer. Now move on to college basketball. We had a big window yesterday, and we will recap it very quickly and look ahead to the weekend ahead, which is very busy. All right, results from yesterday. Fairleigh Dickinson beats St. Fran Brooklyn 76-57. UMass Lowell beats Maine 72-70. Rutgers beats Maryland 64-50. App State beats Coastal Carolina 63-62. Queens beats Bellarmine 75-74. Number 1 Purdue beats number 24 Ohio State 71-69. Number 2 Houston beats SMU 87-53. Lehigh beats Bucknell 72-64. BU beats Lafayette 73-69 in overtime. Army beats Loyola Maryland 78-55. American beats Holy Cross 73-68 in overtime. Binghamton beats New Hampshire 68-50. Vermont beats Bryant 74-64. UMBC beats Albany 92-83. Colgate beats Navy 87-73. FAU beats UAB 88-86. FIU beats Charlotte 62-60. Stonehill beats Wagner 62-58. Sacred Heart beats Merrimack 59-55. Central Con beats LIU 78-59. Texas State beats James Madison 63-62. Troy beats Old Dominion 78-71. Georgia Southern beats Marshalls 81-76. Omaha beats Western Illinois 78-74. SU Edwardsville beats Tennessee State 81-72. Youngstown State beats Robert Morris 78-56. Purdue Fort Wayne beats Green Bay 79-69. Milwaukee beats Cleveland State 68-64 in overtime. Towson beats Drexel 64-58. Hofstra beats Hampton 67-51. Stony Brook beats Monmouth 67-56. William and Mary beats Northeastern 69-66. North Florida beats Kennesaw State 89-86. Liberty beats Jacksonville State 75-41. Stetson beats Jacksonville 73-61. Seattle beats Texas Rio Grande 66-64. Grand Canyon beats Sam Houston 72-68 in overtime. Yale Monroe beats Georgia State 66-58. Arizona State beats Wazoo 77-71. UTSA beats Middle Tennessee 75-72. La Tech beats Rice 88-82 in overtime. Utah Valley beats UT Arlington 72-64. Tarleton beats Southern Utah 68-65. Louisiana beats Southern Miss 75-61. South Alabama beats Arkansas State 63-45. North Dakota State beats South Dakota State 65-59. South Dakota beats North Dakota 62-60. St. Thomas, Minnesota beats Denver 81-71. Warren State beats Southern Indiana 84-80. Montana State beats Northern Colorado 77-56. Northern Arizona beats Montana 75-74 in overtime. Lipscomb beats North Alabama 86-62. Also beats Florida Gulf Coast 61-59. Eastern Kentucky beats Central Arkansas 77-75. New Orleans beats Lamar 81-59. Southeast Louisiana beats Houston Christian 71-59. McNeese beats Northwestern State 92-77. 10 Tech beats Eastern Illinois 70-49. Number 15 Indiana loses at Iowa 91-89. They blow a big lead. Cincinnati beats Wichita State 70-61. North Texas beats Western Kentucky 70-66. Colorado beats Oregon 68-41. Nickel beats A&M Commerce 66-63. Tennessee Martin beats SES MS 87-82. Irvine beats Davis 88-83. Sac State beats Idaho 85-83 in overtime. Eastern Washington beats Portland State 92-80. Number 10 UCLA beats USC 60-58. Utah beats Oregon State 79-60. Cal Baptist beats Utah Tech 72-58. Santa Clara beats Pepperdine 89-79. Pacific beats San Diego 84-82. Bakersfield beats Cal Poly 61-51. Long Beach State beats Cal State Northridge 84-74. Hawaii beats UC San Diego 62-49. Fullerton beats Riverside 77-62. Number 5 Arizona beats Washington 70-67. Number 9 Gonzaga beats San Francisco 77-75. And Loyola Marymount beats BYU 64-59. All right. Tonight's game, 6:30 of Western Michigan and Toledo. My projection is Toledo by 15, total 150 and 7/10. And it is, let's see here. Toledo by 15.5, total 155.5 under. 7 o'clock, Princeton, Columbia. My line's Princeton by 9, total 136 and 7/10. And it is let's see, 10.5 and 138.5. Slight under. Penn, Cornell. My line's Cornell 3.5, total 150 and 19/20, and it's 3.5 and 154.5 under. Dartmouth, Yale. My line's Yale 3.5, total 131 and 7/10, and it is 16.5 and 129.5. Dartmouth. Harvard, Brown. My line is Harvard by half, total 129 and 17/20, and it's 1.5 and 127.5 over. St. Peter's, Siena. My line is Siena 9.5, total 134 and 7/20, and it's 8.5 and 128.5 over. Quinnipiac, Rider. My line's Rider by 6.25, total 139 and 17/20. And we got let's see here. 2.5 and 143.5. That's a tough one. So I'm gonna lay the 2.5 at Ryder. Iona Maris. My line is Iona by 15 1/4, total 136 and 11/20, and it's 12.5 and 136.5. Laying the points. Canisius Manhattan. My line is Manhattan 17.5, total 146 and 3/20, and it is 1.5 and 141.5. I'm gonna take Manhattan plus the 1.5 and plus 112 to win. Niagara Fairfield. My line is Fairfield 5.5, total 128 and 7/20, and it is 3.5 and 122.5 over. Oakland and Northern Kentucky. My line is Northern by 13.5, total 141 and 9/20, and 6.5 and 133.5 over. Although I do like Northern Kentucky too. Detroit and Wright State. My line's Wright State by 6 3/4, so 148 and 13/20, and it is 4.5 and 153.5. Under. That game's on ESPN too, by the way. 8:30 CBS Sports Network. Akron Ball State. My line's Ball State by 3, total 137 and 7/10, and it's 2.5 and 133.5 over. And last but not least, Stanford Cal and ESPNU at 9 o'clock. My line is Stanford by 2, total 127.5, and it's 8.5 and 124.5. I love Cal getting the points. My goodness. I know Stanford or Cal is so bad, but I can't believe Stanford's that big of a favorite. All right, to the weekend. Saturday's loaded, as it is every Saturday during conference play. 11:30 ESPN2, Notre Dame, North Carolina. 12 o'clock on Fox, Creighton, number 4, UConn. ESPNU, number 6, Texas, Oklahoma State. CBS, Vandy at number 20, Missouri. Fox Sports 1, St. John's, Providence. Big Ten Network and CBS Sports Network, Nebraska, Minnesota. Davidson, VCU. Northern Illinois, Buffalo. 1 o'clock ESPN, Kentucky at number 7, Alabama. ACC Network, number 16, Duke, and Boston College. Georgia Tech, Florida State. Georgia, Florida on the SEC Network. LIU, Fairleigh Dickinson. Milwaukee, Purdue, Fort Wayne. 1:30, number 14, Wisconsin, Illinois. 2 o'clock ESPNU. Number 25, Ohio State. Number 17, TCU. NC Central, Morgan State. Tulane, Temple. East Carolina, Memphis. Hartford, Sacred Heart. Southern Illinois, Northern Iowa. UIC, Indiana State. Illinois State, Evansville. CBS Sports Network, Valpo, Bradley. Charlotte, FAU. Fox Sports 1, Georgetown, Marquette. CBS, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. St. Joe's, Fordham. Rhode Island, LaSalle. Loyola, Chicago, George Mason. UMass, George Washington. Great Canyon, St. F. Austin. Bradford, Gardner Webb. Charleston, Southern Presbyterian. Campbell, UNC Asheville. VMI, Chattanooga. Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan. Central Connecticut, Stonehill. South Dakota and North Dakota State. South Dakota State, North Dakota. IUPUI, Youngstown State. UNC Wilmington, NCAT. Monmouth, Drexel. Hofstra, William and Mary. 2:30 on Fox, Michigan, Michigan State. 3 o'clock on the ACC Network. Wake and Louisville. UTEP, Louisiana Tech. Seattle, Texas, Arlington. High Point, SC Upstate. St. Fran, Brooklyn. Merrimack, Southern Miss, Monroe. Texas State, South Alabama. Old Dominion, Georgia Southern. Denver, West Illinois. Eastern Illinois, Morehead State. Green Bay, Cleveland State. 3:30 SEC Network. Number 8, Tennessee, South Carolina. Kent State, Miami of Ohio. Coastal Carolina, Marshall. 4 o'clock, Texas Southern, Arkansas. Pine Bluff, Delaware State. Howard. I almost said Hofstra. SC State, Coppin State. At ESPN2, Clemson, Pitt. That's a low-key good game. Western Kentucky, UTSA. Maryland Eastern, Norfolk State, St. Bonaventure, St. Louis, San Diego State, Wyoming on CBS. Nevada, San Jose State, Winthrop, Longwood. Furman, East Tennessee State. Sanford, Greensboro. Mercer, Western Carolina. San Fran, Brooklyn, Wagner. Northeastern, Hampton. Santa Barbara, Cal Poly. Montana State, Northern Arizona. 4:30 Fox Sports 1, number 18 Xavier at Villanova. Lamar, Southeast Louisiana. Nichols, Northwestern State. A&M Commerce, McNeese. Fresno State, Colorado State. Tennessee Tech, UT Martin. Southeast Missouri State, Little Rock. Tennessee State, Lindenwood. 5 o'clock Pac-12 Network, Wazoo. At number 5, Arizona. ACC Network, Syracuse at number 11, Virginia. CBS Sports Network, Delaware at number 23, Charleston. Alabama, Alcorn State. Missouri State, Belmont. Houston Christian, New Orleans. A&M Commerce, Incarnate Word. Ohio, Bowling Green. Arkansas State, Troy. Portland State, Idaho. Sac State, Eastern Washington. Lipscomb, Jacksonville. 5:30 Tarleton, Sam Houston. Central Arkansas, Austin P. 6 o'clock, number 3, Kansas at West Virginia. Kansas State, number 19, Baylor. Alabama State, Jackson State, Princeton, Cornell. Murray State, Drake. North Texas, Middle Tennessee. Dartmouth, Brown. LSU, Texas A&M on the SEC Network. Duquesne, Richmond, Florida A&M, Southern at 6:30. Bethune, Grambling. Fox Sports 1, Utah State, Boise State. Low-key, really good game. Towson, Stony Brook, 7 o'clock. Prairie View, Miss Valley State, Oklahoma, Texas Tech. Pac-12 Network, Oregon, Utah, Penn, Columbia, Harvard, Yale, UAB, FIU. Southern Utah, App Christian, the Citadel, Wofford. North Florida, Florida Gulf Coast. 7:30, NC State and Virginia Tech. Utah Valley, Texas, Rio Grande. 8 o'clock, BYU, San Diego, Georgia State, Louisiana. App State, James Madison on ESPNU. Omaha, St. Thomas. Kansas City, Oral Roberts. Northridge, Riverside. Bakersfield, Davis. Montana, Northern Colorado. Kennesaw State, Queens. 8:15, Stetson, North Alabama. 8:30, SEC Network, number 13, Arkansas, number 22, Auburn. Fox Sports 1, Butler, Seton Hall. SAU, Edwardsville, Southern Indiana. Cal Baptist, New Mexico State. That's at 9 o'clock. Portland, St. Mary's. Long Beach State, UC Irvine. Hawaii, Fullerton. Idaho State, Weber State. Bellarmine in Jacksonville State. CBS Sports Network at 9:30. UNLV at number 21, New Mexico. Pac-12 Network, Oregon State, Colorado. 10 o'clock, number 9, Gonzaga, Santa Clara. Pacific Pepperdine and San Fran and Loyola Marymount. Sunday, 12 o'clock, Fox Sports 1. Northwestern at number 15, Indiana. Vermont, New Hampshire. Iowa, Rutgers on the Big Ten Network. 1 o'clock, ESPN, number 24, Ohio State at Maryland. Bucknell, Lafayette. Wichita State, South Florida. Loyola Marymount, Holy Cross. UMBC, Bryant. Oakland, Wright State, Liberty. Eastern Kentucky. 2 o'clock, ESPNU. SMU, UCF. BU, American, NJIT, Maine. Lehigh, Navy. Riders, Siena. Canisius, St. Peter's. Iona, Quinnipiac. Mount St. Mary, Marist. Niagara, Manhattan. Detroit, Northern Kentucky. 3 o'clock, ESPN, number 2, Houston at Cincinnati. UMass Lowell. 5 o'clock, ESPN, Washington, Arizona State. And on the Big Ten Network, number 1, Purdue at Penn State. All right, now we'll move on to the NBA. We will recap the games from yesterday and look ahead to tonight and the weekend. Grizzlies over to Magic, 123-115. Celtics over to Mavs, 124-95. Jazz over to Rockets, 131-114. And the Nuggets over to Clippers, 122-91. Now move on to the weekend's games. So we'll start with tonight, 7 o'clock. You have the Trailblazers at the Pacers. My projection here is Indy by a quarter, total 228 and 7/20. And we got here on FanDuel 1.5 and 237 under. Bulls Sixers minus Sixers by 6 3/4 total. 225 and 13/20, since 4.5 and 231 under. 7:30 Knicks Raptors. My line is Raptors by 6 total 224, and it's Raptors by 3.5 total 218.5. I like the over more than I like the Raptors. That's interesting. ESPN Nets Pelicans not as enticing because there's Zion and Ingram. My line's Nets by 6 total 228.25, and it's 4 and 231. I do like the under. Hornets Bucks at 8. My line is Bucks by 18.5 total 226 and 7/20, and it is 10.5 and 233 under. Actually, I like the Bucks more than the under. What do I have with the Bucks? I like that pick better because the differential's more wiggle. Wizards Thunder. My line is Thunder by 4 total 229, and it's 2 and 231.5. Under. Pistons Spurs. My line is the Pistons by a half total 231 and 13/20, and it is 1 and 236.5 under. Clippers Timberwolves at 9. My line's Clippers by 3 total 224 and 9/20, and it is 3.5 in favor of Minnesota, total 226.5. I'm gonna take the Clippers plus the points plus 138 outright. They must know that Kawhi or Paul George isn't playing, because as far as I'm concerned, the Timberwolves should not be favored in this game without Karl Anthony Towns. Cavs Nuggets. My line is the Nuggets by 11 total 224.25, and it's 6 and 222.5. I'm gonna lay the 6 with Denver. No Donovan Mitchell. Heat Suns at ESPN 10 o'clock. My line is the Heat by 3.25 total 221 and 3/5, and it's 2 and 214. I love the over, despite some of Suns injuries. And then last but not least, 10:30 Hawks Lakers. My line is the Hawks by 4.25 total 232 and 11/20, and it is 2.5 and 241.5. I love the under a lot in this game. All right, Saturday, 6 o'clock Celtics Spurs, 8 o'clock Jazz Bulls, Mavs hosting the Pelicans, 8:30 Magic Warriors, and 10 o'clock the Lakers at the Kings. Sunday, 3 o'clock Sixers Pistons, 3:30 Blazers Raptors, 5 o'clock Hornets Pacers, 6 o'clock Nets Heat Jazz Grizz, 7 o'clock Wolves Rockets, Mavs Thunder, 8 o'clock Cavs Suns, and the Hawks and the Clippers at 9. All right, now move on to the NHL. We'll go over the games from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's and the weekend's games. Preds over the Canes 5-3, Caps over the Jackets 6-2, Rangers over the Canadiens 4-1, Blues over the Devils 5-3, Flyers over the Coyotes 6-2, Kraken over the Leafs 5-1, Oilers over the Isles 4-2, Canucks over the Avs 4-2, Golden Knights over the Pens 5-2, and the Bruins over the Kings 5-2. All right, 7 o'clock you have the Panthers at the Red Wings. It is Panthers minus 150, Red Wings plus 125, over under 6.5. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 110. Panthers minus 1.5 is plus 164. Red Wings plus 1.5 is minus 205. That's a tough one. I kind of like the Red Wings to win outright at home. Plus 125. Preds Caps. Caps minus 162. Preds plus 134. Over under 6.5 minus 110 each way. Preds plus 1.5 is minus 188. Caps minus 1.5 is plus 152. So it's the OG bowl for Barry Trotz. The OG Barry Trotz Bowl. I'm going to go with the under. I like unders in Preds games because of Juicy Sorrow. 8 o'clock Lightning Jets. Lightning minus 126. Jets plus 105. Over under 6. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Lightning minus 1.5 is plus 190. Jets plus 1.5 is minus 240. I'm going with the Jets as a home dog. Plus 105. 8:30 Coyotes Blackhawks. Talk about a tankathon game. Blackhawks minus 120. Coyotes plus or even money over under 6. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Coyotes plus 1.5 is minus 50. Blackhawks minus 1.5 is plus 198. I'm going to go with the tie after regulation at plus 320. 9 o'clock Isles Flames. Flames minus 20. Isles plus 180. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Isles plus 1.5 is minus 142. Flames minus 1.5 is plus 116. The Flames are playing a lot better, turning their season around. I think they're overvalued in the market still. So I'm going to take the Islanders for the road upside at plus 180. And then 10 o'clock, you have the Sharks and the Ducks. Sharks minus 145, Ducks plus 118, over under 6.5, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Sharks minus 1.5 is plus 164, Ducks plus 1.5 is minus 205. I like the over. All right, Saturday, 1 o'clock, Rangers, Devils, 4 o'clock, Canes, Jackets, 7 o'clock, Wild, Sabres, Blues, Canadiens, Kraken, Sens, Red Wings, Maple Leafs on the NHL Network, 10 o'clock, Avs, Oilers, Kings, Golden Knights, and 10:30, Bruins, Sharks. Sunday, 3 o'clock, Canucks, Jets, 3:30, Panthers, Stars, 5 o'clock, Blue Jackets, Caps, 7 o'clock, Penguins, Coyotes, Flames, Blackhawks, Blues, Wild, Leafs, Flyers, and 8:30, Bruins, Ducks. All right, NFL, Week 18. The picks I have for you. It should be fun. There's a lot of games I like, which you'll find out will be in the Fab 5 at the end of the podcast. So without further ado, here we go. First game, Saturday, 4:30, ESPN and ABC. On the call this game, I think it's going to be Steve Levy and Louis Riddick and Boobrick or McFarland. It's the old Monday night group. The Chiefs and the Raiders. I project Chiefs by 12.5, total 49 3/4, and it's 9.5 and 52.5. So I have a nice little edge on the under, but I have a better edge on the Chiefs. So I'm going to lay 9.5 at the Chiefs. I think they want the 1 seed. It means a lot to them. So I'm going to lay the points for the Chiefs. And in news and notes, I'll go over the scenario of the neutral site AFC Championship game because it's very confusing. And then 8:15 on ESPN and ABC of the Titans and the Jaguars. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman on the call. I project the Jaguars by 10.5, total 41 and 17, 20 and 10 and 6.5 and 39.5. I love Jacksonville. I'm surprised that it's only 6.5. Tennessee has half their team on the injured list, so I'm laying the points. Sunday, 1 o'clock on Fox, Bucks, Falcons. My line is the Bucks by 1, total 41.5, and it is, believe it or not, Atlanta by 4.5, total 40.5. I'm taking the Bucks, getting the 4.5 at plus 166 outright. Pats, Bills. My line's Bills by 9, total 43 and 3/20. And it is 7 and 42.5. I'm going to lay to 7 with Buffalo. On Fox, Vikings, Bears. My line is Vikings 14.5, total 48 and 13/20. And it's 7.5 and 43.5. I'm going to lay the points at Minnesota. No Justin Fields. That's going to be a double-digit win for Minnesota. CBS, Texans, Colts. My line is Colts by 2, total 40 and 3/5. And it is how come I don't see this line for Texans Indy? Oh, there it is. 2.5 and 38. Over. On Fox, Jets, Dolphins, so the cross flex in week 18. My line is Dolphins by a half, total 42 and 19/20. And it is the Jets. Or no, Miami's a 2.5 point favorite. Total 38.5. So it looks like that somebody better than Skylar Thompson is starting. Maybe they know stuff about Mike White. I'm gonna go over 38.5. Panthers, Saints. On Fox, my line is the Saints by 2, total 42 and 11/20. And it's 3.5 and 41.5. Slight lean to Carolina. CBS, Browns, Steelers. Mine Steelers by 5, total 41 and a quarter. And it's 2.5 and 40.5. I'm laying the 2.5 with the Steelers. Ravens, Bengals is a 1 o'clock game on CBS. My line is Bengals 11.5, total 42 and 7/10. And it is 8.5 and 39.5. So a 3-point edge on the Bengals and a more than a 3-point edge on the over. So I'm going to go with the over. 4:25 on CBS, Chargers, Broncos. Mine's Chargers by 8, total 40 and 3/4. And Denver's a 2.5 point favorite, total 39.5. That's telling you that they think they're going to rest everybody because they're going to see results prior and say, it's automatic. They're going to rest everybody. Not so fast, my friends. Give me the Chargers plus 2.5 and plus 124 outright. The Broncos are just freaking terrible. Also on CBS, Giants, Eagles. Iron Eagle Charles Davis will be on the call for this one. Nansen Romo will be on Patriots, Bills, and rightfully so. Because the Patriots are winning in, and there's other reasons for that as well. Eagles, I project a 7.5 point favorite, total 46 and a quarter, and they're laying a whopping 14, total 46 and a quarter. And this line, by the way, is projected with Jalen Hurts. So there's a lot of speculation that the Giants are going to sit Jones and Barkley. That's why the line's that high. Give me the Giants getting double digits in Philly. On Fox, Cardinals, 49ers. My line's 49ers by 19.5, total 44 and a fifth. And it's 14 and 40.5. I'm going to lay the points with the 49ers. Rams, Seahawks on Fox. My line is Seahawks by 15, total 44 and 7/10. And it is 6 and 41.5. I'm going to lay to 6 with Seattle. The Rams are just not playing anybody. Cowboys, Commanders is probably going to be the Kevin Burkhardt, Greg Olsen game. And I think the schedule makers did that on purpose so they can give their precious Cowboys some favoritism, even though Troy Aikman's not there anymore. Mine's Cowboys 6.5, total 44 and the 20th. And it's 7 and 40.5. I'm going to take the over. And last but not least, Sunday Night Football, 8 o'clock or 8:20 on NBC. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark on the call. Lions, Packers. Mine's by the Packers by 1.5, total 48 and 2/5. And it's 4.5 and 49.5. I'm taking the Lions getting the 4.5. I just think this is a close game. So give me the Detroit Lions. All right, the FCS championship is also this weekend. We have North Dakota State and South Dakota State. And my projection here is South Dakota State by 3, total 51 and a quarter. And it is 5.5 and 47.5. I'm going to take the over. I think there's two very high-scoring teams. And I think that this is going to be a lot of fireworks on display. So give me over 47.5 on Sunday afternoon between North Dakota State and South Dakota State. And by the way, this game's going to be 2 o'clock on ABC. All right, now I'm going to go over the current leaderboard for the Tournament of Champions in golf. Your leader right now with the score of 9 under. It's a tie. Colin Morikawa, J.J. Spawn, and John Rahm. Not tied. In 4th place with 8 under, Tom Kim. Tied for 5th with 7 under is a big group. Mackenzie Hughes, Taylor Hogue, Aaron Weiss, Sungjae M, Scotty Scheffler, Matt Fitzpatrick. Tied for 11th with 6 under. Scott Stallings, Tony Finau, Hideki Matsuyama, Sahith Theegala, Victor Hovland, and Jordan Spieth. Tied for 17th with 5 under. Seamus Power, JT Potson, Kanggu Lee, Ryan Bram, Corey Connors, and Brian Harmon. Tied for 23rd with 4 under. Trey Mullinax, Ryan Henley, and Will Zalatoris. Tied for 26th with 3 under. Patrick Cantlay, Sam Burns, Cam Young, Adam Scott, Keegan Bradley, Max Homa, Xander Schauffele, Justin Thomas. Tied for 34th with 2 under. Cesar V, Adam Svensson, Chad Ramey, Luke List, and Seb Straka. The 39th with 3 over, Brett Horschel. All right, now I'll move on to the news and notes for today. Try to be quick with news and notes. We'll start with the Bills-Bengals game. They announced that the game will be canceled and the AFC title game could be played on a neutral site. That is the right move because there was simply no time to replay the game. So I respect the move, and because of that, the Bengals are AFC North champions. So here are the scenarios for a neutral site AFC Championship game. Scenario number 1. Buffalo and Kansas City both win or both tie. A Buffalo versus Kansas City championship game would be at a neutral site. Scenario number 2. Buffalo and Kansas City both lose and Baltimore wins or ties. A Buffalo versus Kansas City championship game would be at a neutral site. Scenario number 3. Buffalo and Kansas City both lose and Cincinnati wins. A Buffalo or Cincinnati versus Kansas City championship game would be at a neutral site. If Baltimore defeats Cincinnati in Week 18 and will have defeated Cincinnati, a divisional opponent, twice, but will not be able to host the playoff game because Cincinnati will have a higher winning percentage for a 16-game schedule than Baltimore will be for a 17-game schedule. If Baltimore defeats Cincinnati and those two clubs are scheduled to play a wildcard game against one another, the site for that game would be determined by a coin toss. If Cincinnati wins the Week 18 game, or if Baltimore and Cincinnati are not scheduled to play one another in the wildcard round, the game sites would be determined by the regular scheduling procedures. So that's that. We just had to go over the sheet because it was confusing. But the best news of yesterday is that Damar Hamlin has shown remarkable improvement and continues to make steady progress. He is awake and using a breathing tube and asked through writing who won the game, and the Bills staff saved his life. So that is wonderful that he is awake and he was holding hands with some family members. So that is just wonderful to see. That made me so happy. So other football news, Jadeveon Clowney likely done with the Browns. He's 95% sure he will not resign. I need to be around somebody that believes in me and my ability. Jim Harbaugh expresses NFL rumors in a statement, and he says that he enthusiastically plans to coach Michigan in 2023. I just think he's in that Michigan cocoon and doesn't want to leave. Like, he didn't leave last year, and I don't think he wants to leave this year. I mean, I could be wrong. So there is an argument that he may leave because it was reported that Michigan is being investigated for potential rules violations. So, and this includes Jim Harbaugh, for failing to cooperate with investigators, a level 1 violation. So it's going to be interesting to see if this affects his future at the school or not. So Notre Dame lands Sam Hartman from Wake Forest. That's a good transfer for Notre Dame. That's an upgrade for them at the quarterback position. So the Yankees make another front office hire. They bring in former Mets general manager Omar Minaya as an advisor to baseball operations. So this tells me, as I mentioned the other day when they brought in Brian Sabean, is that Yankee ownership wants new voices in the front office with Brian, and for Brian to get sort of out of under from the analytics thing and back to like old school thinking. This is what my take. And if things go bad in 2023, maybe one of those guys, I know they just extended Cashman's 4-year deal, but if it goes disastrously bad, maybe there's injuries, they miss the postseason, I can see a world where he's fired, maybe Boone's fired too, and one of those guys becomes the general manager, and they make some full house changes, which they probably should have done last offseason, but it's okay. They brought back Aaron Judge and signed Rodon. Still have a hole in left field, but they could fix that at the trade deadline. So it's not the worst thing in the world. So Texas fires Chris Beard after his arrest on a felony domestic violence charge last month. This is not surprising. His fiance came out with that statement. I think I talked about that on the show. But ultimately, Texas said, no, you don't deserve to be our head coach because of what you did, and I agree with Texas. And now the question is, does the interim guy keep the job if they have a good season? Or do they want to go big name, big fish hunting and try to hire Rick Pitino? So it's going to be interesting to see what goes on there. Devin Vassell will have knee surgery as he'll undergo a procedure on his left knee next week. The Spurs are obviously tanking, so this doesn't really stun me. Bradley Beal out the next 3 games with the low-grade left hamstring strain after undergoing MRI. Maybe if they lose all 3 games and Beal comes back and isn't the same, maybe they scoot into the Scoot and Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. I use the word scoot on purpose. That's funny. All right, the NBA All-Star fan voting. First fan returns, LeBron and KD are the captains. And the fan results are interesting. Carlos Correa's camp is talking to at least one other team. Negotiations with the Mets are sticky. I think this could swing the NL East if Correa doesn't sign, because I kept saying the Mets needed that big bat. If they don't get him, they're kind of back to where they were last year. Let's be honest. The NHL All-Star rosters have dropped. There's some deserving All-Stars and some that I feel probably shouldn't have been in. So the Atlantic Division, Linus Ullmark, Tage Thompson, Dylan Larkin, Matt Tkachuk, Nick Suzuki, Brady Tkachuk, Nikita Kucherov, and Mitch Marner. Metro Division, Andrei Svechnikov, Johnny Gaudreau, Jack Hughes, Brock Nelson, Igor Shesterkin, Kevin Hayes, Sidney Crosby, and Alex Ovechkin. Central, Clayton Keller, Seth Jones, Kel McCarr, Jason Robertson, Kirill Kaprizov, Juicy Sorrow, Vladimir Tarasenko, and Josh Morrissey. And the Pacific, Troy Terry, Nazem Kadri, Connor McDavid, Kevin Fiala, Eric Carlson, Matty Beniers, Elias Pettersson, and Logan Thompson. So those are the All-Stars that were revealed last night. And Jake DeBrusk on long-term injury reserve as he's to miss at least a month with a lower body injury. That's not good for Boston. And hopefully he is back sooner rather than later for their sake. Sad news in baseball. Nate Colbert dies at the age of 76. San Diego announces that the Padres Hall of Famer and All-Star first baseman had passed away yesterday. So thoughts and prayers to the Padres organization, his family and friends. Sad news that broke last night. And the U.S. Women's National Team January Cup roster has been revealed. Emily Sonnett and Lynn Williams back from long-term injuries for 2 games against New Zealand, among notable highlights. Okay, best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. This is a difficult one. I'm 4-0 in 2023 so far. That's wonderful. There was an NBA bet that stood out to me. And I'm going to lay a full unit on it. And that's Denver -6 against Cleveland. I know I went with Cleveland the other day against the Bulls. I believe that was the first best bet of the year. And that was the Donovan Mitchell 71-point game, which was amazing. But obviously that got overlooked by the whole DeMar Hamlin thing. And, everything got overlooked by that night, obviously. And just glad that DeMar's better. So I'm going to lay 6 with Denver against Cleveland. I'm going to lay a whole unit on it. I feel pretty good. No Donovan Mitchell. I think Denver wins by double digits, led by the great Nikola Jokic. All right, Fab 5 time. I'm going to lay a half unit per pick. Obviously, 5 ATS or totals and a money line underdog. All right, pick number 1. I'm going to Saturday night, and I'm going to lay the 6.5 with Jacksonville against Tennessee. I love Jacksonville in this spot. They're going to roll Tennessee and win the AFC South. So I'm going to lay the points at Jacksonville. I think I forgot to pick a game for the NFL. Or no, I didn't. I don't know why I didn't feel like I didn't talk about the Steelers. So, pick number 2. I'm going to lay the 7.5 at Minnesota against the Bears. I love betting on the Vikings this year, and they're going to win this game by double digits because Justin Fields isn't playing for Chicago, and Chicago's trying for the number 1 pick anyway. So I'm going to lay the points with Minnesota. Pick number 3. I am going to this is a tough one. There's games I have edges on, but I'm not going to pull the trigger on because of, just gut feelings I have. So, I did 2 picks so far. So pick number 3. I'm going to lay 2.5 with Pittsburgh against the Browns. I think that Pittsburgh's poised to make the postseason. And Kenny Pickett and company want to beat their division rival at home. So I'm going to lay 2.5 with the Steelers at home against the Browns. Pick number 4. I think the Buffalo crowd's going to be emotional. And that place is going to be rocking. So I'm going to lay the 7 with Buffalo against New England. And then the last pick, I don't know if I want to touch the 4 team in San Francisco. You know what? I'm going to touch the other 4 team. I'm going to take the Giants getting 14 in Philly. I just think that they're going to stay in that game for as long as they could. And they're getting 2 touchdowns, and Barkley and Jones might play. So I'm going to take the Giants and make the bet that they're going to play. And maybe Jalen Hurts doesn't play. Perhaps. You never know. And maybe the Eagles win by 13 and I get a garbage touchdown late. So I'm taking the Giants plus the 14 in Philly against the Eagles. Now my underdog pick of the week to win outright. You know how bad I want to say the words the Houston Texans? But there's a couple games where I have an edge on a team that is a more than 3-point underdog this week. And I'm going with the Bucks as my underdog money line pick of the week at plus 166 at Atlanta. I just don't like how Atlanta's looked. And even if Tom doesn't play, I think that Tampa can make a couple plays on defense and stuff and beat the Falcons and Desmond Ridder. Plus 166 for the Buccaneers. So that's it for the show. We'll be back on Monday recapping the weekend and looking ahead to everything coming up. And maybe on Monday I'm going to do the resume version of my NFL Power Ranking. So I hope you guys have a great day, everyone.